Welcome to Meathead Test Kitchen, where food, fitness, and mental health come to hang out. Nutrition, training, and life. It's all fair game on MTK. Meathead Test Kitchen.
Welcome to Meathead Test Kitchen, a podcast where we've been gone for a really long time because we've been really fucking busy. I'm Sausha.
I'm Sadie. And if you're upset that we're still alive.
Yeah, sorry.
Good news, bad news. I mean, good news is we're still here. Bad news is if you fucking hate us, well, guess what, bitches? We're back.
We're back.
Shit, fuck, ass. Oh, that feels so good to say. I can cuss into a microphone again.
Get out your bingo card.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
It's we haven't done a podcast since like my birthday, which was back in May.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've actually seen Sausha in person since then. We are either the best friends or the worst best friends because we communicate explicitly via text and phone call for the rest of our lives outside of our podcast because we're busy.
A little busy.
But Sasha's doing shit, I'm doing shit, and the podcast hadn't really been much of the shit we were doing.
No, not at all. Well, so I know I kind of talked about this like in May. I mean, it had been a year at that point, maybe. Yeah, it was a year. So Hurrdat Sports got underway in June of 2022. And then like as we ramped up, so just like inside baseball, we went from 3 employees, and I'm going to cut that. We went from 3 people on the team to now 24.
Yeah.
24 of them. So we've been busy. If you've followed the accounts, we're literally everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. And football, like with spring football happening, and like that was, we got into covering Nebraska over the last year. And so like it was just a lot.
I feel like there is a certain amount of working in media in Nebraska. You know that Husker sports like rules out, but Husker football, if you're not from here, Husker football, it's like Alabama football in Alabama, except for Alabama is traditionally a little bit. The Huskers are in a rebuilding right now. They're on their way. They almost did a bowl game this year. Like that's the best they've done in a while. So
yeah,
I kind of gloating a little bit because I'm an Iowa fan, and they got their asses handed to them in the Big Ten championship game. So
yes,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. But yeah, so Sasha's been leading a whole arm of a fucking sports media empire, and I picked up my dream radio job back in June. So like it's been wild to not fucking. I don't know. It's just been wild.
Yeah. Well, and reacclimating, for you, I think like getting. Like you need to brag about,
dude.
Where I know.
I was so scared to cuss. I'm still scared to cuss. Like, am I going to say fuck on the radio?
But taking that time slot and bringing it to where it is, like that's not easy to do.
No.
And like that's crazy. So brag about yourself.
People like my weird random bullshit that I provide every day on the radio. I'm thankful that I get to continue to do it because I didn't think that I could or that I wanted to be back in radio. Fuck you to the people that made my time in radio before I left awful. You know who you are. I fucking hate you. I hope you're miserable watching me fucking succeed. That's all I got. But yeah, so we wanted to freeball an episode today about shifting gears because that's essentially what we had to do. So the podcast is back. Season 3, motherfuckers.
Yes.
But yeah, so we took a break and did some different shit. And guess what? That means that you can also apply that in your daily life however you want to. Like dude, I can't even tell you the last time I worked out. Bad personal trainer. Personal trainer. Bad. But like I've been so fucking busy with everything else. Like running around, doing all the shit.
During football season, so I realize it's not a long season. It's 3 months out of the whole entire year. But during that time, I was also traveling to all the away games. The only one I didn't travel to was Madison, and that was because we wanted to save a little money back so we could send somebody to UNO volleyball. They were playing in the Summit League Championship. They won the Summit League Championship, and we were there to cover it.
Yeah,
so that was important for sure. But football season for me means like, I'm not even shitting you, like 70, 80 hours a week just because there's so much stuff going on. And then you have hockey that starts during that time. And you've got volleyball that starts during that time. And for Hurrdat Sports, we cover everything.
And this
high school, UNO, Creighton, and Nebraska. So I was busy.
Yeah.
For me,
I haven't seen Sasha since May.
Yeah, seriously. In that time, though, it's super hard to we talk about balance a fuckload, and it was really hard for me to balance. So usually in life, I think one of the last episodes we recorded, we talked about the importance of finding balance, but sometimes that means you have to cut things out. And for me, during football season, and honestly in the last year, that meant not working out as much.
Yeah.
Which I fucking hate.
It makes me feel like a bit of a fraud, to be completely honest, but such is fucking life. Sometimes you don't have time for the shit that you'd really like to have time for. I feel like there's a metaphor in there somewhere.
Yeah. I had to pick, like family is important to me. So work and family, and that was about what I had time for.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. I would, I still movement in whatever that may have looked like for me over the last, since May, I just fit it in where I could.
Yeah.
That meant I also didn't get to do market to market this year because it was a road game. I didn't get to do the halvesy because it was a road game. But that's just kind of the nature of how things are. I'm a little fluffier than I'd like to be, like whatever.
Meh.
And I bulked since May.
Here's what I tell
That's what
myself.
I was doing.
I still get laid. I'm doing okay. You worried that you don't look as good as you should or whatever? Are you still getting laid? You're good.
You're fine. Everything's fine.
You're fine.
But yeah, I mean, that's in the off season of football for me specifically. What that looks like is like I'm basically starting at zero, which is kind of fun.
Also sucky.
It is, but I'm actually surprised, like, when it comes to weights and stuff like that. Yes, there's going to be fall off. I'm not going to be maxing out at where I was.
Not that much.
But it's not that much.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that once you've worked out for a period of time, that muscle memory for you and your body, like, kicks in faster than somebody who, like, legit is, like, starting at 0, 0, 0.
Yeah, because your body's going to remember how to do a squat when you're prompted to be like, hey, do the squat, and it'll be like, "Ooh, this feels like shit," but I remember how to do this.
Yes, exactly. I think mobility, stuff like that, just literally movement for me is what's important.
Walks.
Same.
I walk around the office building a lot because there's a lot of time to kill when you're on the radio.
Yeah, I always make sure I've got my earbuds with me. If I have to take a phone call, I'm walking around the building the whole time. Yeah. I asked for one of those walking under desk treadmills.
Ooh.
Just because I stand. I don't sit at work at all, like ever. Like right now is the first time I've sat all morning, but I want one of those walking treadmills because I'm always standing there, and then I can get like my 10,000 steps in a day that I want.
I want one of those for the studio because it would, well, I don't know. We have that stack of equipment that's right. It might not fit. That would be awkward though because you could probably hear me walking as I'm talking on the air.
If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm walking on my walking
on a treadmill and being on the radio at the same time. I'm a multitasker. No. So yeah, that's where the fuck we've been.
Yes.
So it's been weird. It's been good and all the other shit in between. But thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking in on us. I got a text message not too long ago from someone that knows of you, doesn't actually know you, but has known me for a while. And they're like, "Did you and Sausha break up?" And I'm like,
No. Just really fucking busy.
No.
Really fucking busy.
We are like the friends that we're friends first and we happen to have a podcast together second. So like, whatever.
So probably lay of the land. I would expect a hiatus for me during football season. But I think we'll start with every other week right now, just because I would rather start with fewer episodes than you are used to and build back up to the 4 a month. Then
also, I
tell you that we're going to record consistently and then not.
A podcast.
I know.
Also,
refer back to our notes.
I'm very curious to see what all the other podcasts that made a living ripping us off are up to now, since they haven't had anything to fucking steal from for 6 months. How you bitches doing over there? I see you.
Mysteriously not been showing up on my For You page.
Good.
I think that I'd like to offer, maybe when we post this, we're not going to do these as live because I like the quality of a better camera. You know?
Same.
But I will put a post up.
I mean, we're live on TikTok.
Yeah, we are.
We are live on TikTok. So if you want to fucking yell at us on TikTok, I guess go right ahead. We're not going to answer you, but
the phone's way over
there. I can see stuff.
But would like to put out, some kind of a post or a poll on what you guys would like us to cover. We've gotten, when we posted that we were going to start recording again, we got a bunch of messages.
Yes.
We missed you guys. We appreciate that. I think too that we're both at the same spot in terms of like journey and things like that. So like that might be the trajectory that we're taking the podcast right now, because restarting. It's okay. It's okay though to restart. Like I've been beating myself up just because I'm like, gosh, you know, we have this podcast and we you know, started building a little mini empire, but that's just kind of life sometimes. And I think like as we were inconsistently recording back in May and April, like that was just kind of the road that we were going down, and that's totally fucking fine.
Yeah.
Like doesn't make you a bad person. It just means like that's where you're fucking at in life right now. That's fine.
Shit happens.
Yep.
You can't always do it all.
No, seriously.
No, I know. Like it does.
I was like, I can't get up at 4 a.m.
No.
Like I can't, because typically if I want to see Brian at all, like I need to stay up past 8 o'clock in the evening. Like
4 a.m. and past 8 do not match.
No, they don't. They don't. And I got to be up early every morning to help do the radio show and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So like a lot of times for me, it's like I have to go after work, which is fine. But like this week, I recorded a podcast on Monday. Shout out No Block No Rock. Thanks for having me on. Which was a crazy time because if you're in Nebraska, again, Dylan Raiola is the #1 quarterback in the country, and he's probably going to flip to Nebraska. Those are the rumors. And that was the day that I went on.
Oh, is that why Sims left? Is that why he's in the transfer portal?
Probably, but...
Sorry, we're getting Husker football here for a second.
I think probably, but also like... he's got 1 year left, I think, and you want to, as a quarterback, if you're trying to go to the next level, you've got to put yourself in a place that sets you up to be able to showcase those talents. And unfortunately for Jeff Sims, he didn't have a great time. And I don't mean
hurt
like
in the middle of it too, which definitely never
high
helps.
ankle sprain.
Yeah,
had the fumbles. I think that led to some mental yips. And you know, with NIL and the transfer portal, I think that you have a good opportunity to go somewhere else. He wasn't going to be starting here next year. Yeah. So, with that, I was on that show. So Monday for me was, I got up, I usually up at 6:30 to do the radio show. So I'm working at 6:30. I didn't get home until 7:30. Right. My husband just merged a business, so that was a big deal on Monday. So I got home at 7:30 and hung out with him for a little bit, and I was like, well, I'm exhausted now because I've been working forever. And then Tuesday,
I go bed now.
Yeah, Tuesday, same thing. I had a crisis fire to put out at 3:30 on Tuesday afternoon. I had to leave for a hockey game at 6:30. It was a playoff game, so I had to be there. Got home at 10:30, 11 o'clock. There's no time in there at all to work out. At least I moved my body on Tuesday because you got to be active when you're playing hockey. And then Wednesday,
I need to get you a slow the fuck down liaison, and it's just going to be a big black dude with a really deep voice. And whenever you're pushing yourself too hard, he's going to put his hand on your forehead and be like, "Slow the fuck down."
That actually felt really good.
My hands are cold. Sorry.
And then Wednesday, we always go visit our neighbors in the old neighborhood. Yeah. I didn't get home till 5:30. We left at 5:40.
You got to pee and leave.
Yes. So today, I'm going to the gym. Finally able to go to the gym.
Sasha's working.
But there are new studies that say that sometimes the weekend warriors that only have time to work out over the weekend have more success because you've got that time on the weekends.
Well, and I might
become a weekend warrior.
We've seen the studies too that say 3 to 4 days of training are optimal over 5 to 7. Now there are going to be outliers of that. If you're an Olympic weightlifter, you want to have that repetition. If you're if you're training for something, don't listen to that. If you're just training to train, 3 to 4 days is going to be perfect for what you need because you're not going to burn yourself out. If you decide that 3 or 4 days isn't enough after you get into it for a little while, then add that 5th day. But don't work out every fucking day. You don't need to work out every fucking day unless you're training for a sport that dictates that. And those are very few and far between in very special circumstances. Maddie Rogers, Olympic weightlifter. She's a fucking Olympian. She trains every day because their timing is so you have to. If you don't train, you risk detraining, and in that situation, you can't have that because you're trying to push a max rep on a platform 3 weeks from now, So it just depends on what you're doing, but yeah, I need to clean my garage. My gym is dirty. It's the dead spider graveyard right now.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Gym.
So I still have Shred Shed 2.0. It's across the street from my house, but I cleared out the basement See, I started this. This is what working in sports is like.
So I know you started.
You make all these lists of stuff you need to get to, and then you never get to those things.
That's
like you
ADHD.
have to. Yeah, that too. I think I have work-induced ADHD.
I just have ADHD.
Like,
that's the other thing. Hi, I have ADHD and autism. Now we know what's fucking wrong with me. I found that out while we were on hiatus.
Yeah, which is like when you. I need to go back to therapy, but we'll get to that probably another time. But things change, things evolve. But anyway, this is the podcast today. This is what happens when we don't have any notes. It's fine.
What we're doing.
We're just having a chat.
Yeah.
I started the process of moving everything around. I'm almost done with that, but I started that like before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you started like a month and a half ago.
I haven't finished.
I was gonna ask.
I stayed home from work one day to like catch up on some work stuff, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," and then I was like, "Oh, I gotta go back to do work stuff," and I never went back to it. Eventually, because my student loans kicked back in, I will want to save that money, so I'll move it back. But
I think that's ADHD.
Probably. I just described ADHD. If you don't know what it is,
basically,
now you know.
Like, I can't tell you how many unfinished like fucking to-do lists are in my notes app, bro. There's like 27 of them, and they're all different things. And my Canva file is equally crazy, and Sausha can vouch. There are so many half-finished fucking projects in our Canva folder. It's stupid.
We are almost finished. We just need photos of the
that fucking cookbook that we keep talking about doing.
For 3 years we've talked about this.
We should, maybe for Christmas we should release that fucking cookbook.
For real.
Finally.
Even if it's 5
done.
recipes.
Dude, it's done.
Here.
We just need pictures.
Have this fucking cookbook.
Do we need to type it still? I don't remember. Is it formatted already?
It's formatted. We just need to get the pictures in there.
Again, ADHD. I'm sorry I'm like this.
Get super into something and get super excited about it.
The hyperfixation phase is such an amazing thing until you're not hyperfixated over it anymore. And then you just don't give a fuck. Enter the cookbook.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh my goodness. This quickly went off the rails, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Like, it's totally fine. If there are things that you want us to cover, talk about, do some future episodes on, I think we had talked about, I don't know, what were we going to do for the first one? Aside from this one.
I don't remember. We talked about revisiting some of our very first episodes.
Yeah, we should probably do that. You know what's funny?
We could redo those from where we're at now versus where we were then.
I agree. Let's do that.
Don't steal our fucking idea, you shits.
Turn off the live. So in the chat, I've got 4 people down in Tampa. If you're not aware or familiar, the Final Four for college volleyball is happening
also
today.
GG to the Iowa Western Reavers for bringing home the second natty last night in a row. That's 3 for Stroh.
Yes.
Which is cool because I was the first sideline reporter. It was his third. They've been to like 5 or 6.
Okay, that's right.
But that was his third ring.
Right. Yes. Back to back in the
something. So Iowa, if you probably don't know anything about Iowa Western Community College football, but that's where we got our broadcasting degrees. So it's one of our alma maters. And we have so many friends that work in the sports organization over there, but they started as a program in 2009. Was their first season that they had football. And I was the fucking sideline reporter that season. So it's big, sentimental. Our buddy Travis I have a picture of Travis on ESPNU last night, almost getting taken out during a touchdown.
Oh, not nice,
I giggled. No, he avoided. It was good avoision, but there's Travis on ESPN.
Nice.
This is what I do when I look for you at Husker football games, and I take a picture of the TV like an old lady because my friend's on TV. And even though I'm in media, it shouldn't be a big deal because that's our fucking job, but it's still cool to see your friends on TV.
Apparently the Iowa game was all over the place.
You were all over the place. I was like, there's Sausha. There's Sausha. There's go Iowa.
What pissed me off about that game? So during games, I help with
the Nebraska lost.
Yes.
Okay.
Every single time and this is both teams, every single time I'd go to move to the other side of the field to try to get pictures coming at me, someone would turn over the fucking ball. And I was like, I'm just going to stay here. I'm staying right here.
I texted you on Black Friday, and I know other people did too. The 2 guys that were in the T-shirts that said punts were the happiest fucking dudes in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Holy crap.
Because they saw 20 punts.
Good God. Yeah, that was, what a fun season.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's better than most of them have been.
Yeah.
Y'all almost got a bowl game.
Almost. We had that graphic ready since Michigan State.
Holiday Bowl for the 15th time.
We had that graphic ready to go of going bowling since Michigan State.
Damn.
at the beginning of November. Winless November.
That's rough.
Although I did get my prediction for the season right, so you should listen to me when I tell you.
It's true. You should listen to Sausha.
I'm smart.
Especially when it comes to football.
Yes.
Like, I know the men folk don't like to listen when the people with boobs have opinions about sports, but we watch just as fucking much football as you do.
Yeah.
Maybe
so,
even more.
Boom. Roasted.
So yeah, we're back.
We're back.
Hi. We missed you. Hopefully you missed us. If you didn't, whatever, that's fine. I don't really care. You don't have to tell me.
Move on.
Yeah.
But
otherwise,
we'll do, so the next episode that'll come out, we'll probably go back. Oh, that's what I was going to, see, this is 88. This is, I'm going to title it like, we're back and we still have ADHD.
Yes. We're still neurodivergent as fuck.
In the whole group chat that we have for the sports team, they took a picture of like what they went to the store and got. It was a thing of syrup, Cheez-Its, Wheat Thins, some bananas, and Fig Newtons. And somebody was like ragging on the Fig Newtons. I'm like, out of all of that stuff besides the actual fruit, the Fig Newtons are the most like nutritionally dense thing that you've got over there.
Here's my thing
Brain
about
food.
Fig Newtons. Do you know how figs are grown?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to ruin figs for everybody
great.
that's about to listen to our podcast. So there's two varieties of figs. One variety doesn't do this, but there's another variety of fig that the fig plant like turns into the fig because a wasp lays eggs in it.
Oh, actually, I have heard that.
No fucking thank you. No figs for me, thanks.
Do you imagine opening it and it's just like wasps?
Yeah. Let's see, fig wasp. The things that you do. Yeah, fig wasps are wasps.
No.
That spend their larval stage inside figs.
Yuck.
Figs are flowers.
Is that
not
a picture
fruits.
of that?
Yeah, well, that's of the wasps. Here's the life cycle of.
We'll flash a picture up
Okay.
on the screen.
So a pollen-laden female climbs into the fig, which
I don't
looks
like
like
this.
a giant circular vagina, and then it drops
Great.
the pollen in there, and that's how the fig grows. So basically, a wasp shits in a fucking fig, and then it ripens, and you eat it. And this is why I don't eat figs anymore.
And see you
I
next
just
week.
ruined figs for the internet. You're welcome.
Ugh, yuck. I don't like that. I don't like that picture specifically. Send that to me because I'll put it in the video. Well, I'm gonna. If I had to be tortured with that and see it, so does everybody else for the podcast. Send that to me.
I don't like that picture. Send it to me.
That's the clip out.
Let me lift it off of Reddit. Hold on.
So let me pull up. I'll pull out my phone, which I don't know. Oh, I can't. It's over there.
We're doing a live with it. We're professional media broadcasters. Can you tell?
I'm sorry.
We've been doing this communally for like 30 years.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine.
That's the clip out of the episode. So what I was gonna do is pull up my calendar. The next time that we do an episode, we'll probably record next week so we can put it out Christmas.
That's fine. Yeah.
Want to do that? Okay. We'll plan on doing that. I will put in the description and in our social posts from this episode what the next episode will be. I think we should go Carbs 101 again.
Oh, I was going to call it MTK's Holiday Shit Show, but yeah, we could do Carbs 101.
Let's do the holiday shit show. Actually, good idea. Eat whatever the fuck you want. That will be the title.
We're going to talk about that first, and then we'll go back and we're going to redux some things. If you've ever watched the show Good Eats, so Good Eats, shout out to Alton Brown, love him. Good Eats is kind of what I modeled the podcast after when I started, because spoiler alert, none of us are fucking reinventing the wheel. We take something, prototype it, and then change it to be our own way.
Yeah.
Alton Brown can't sue me because I changed the name and I didn't rip him off that bad. So, so he does this thing where he does Good Eats Reloaded. So maybe we'll do MTK Reloaded.
Yes.
Where we just go back and we do some of those episodes where we talk about it because they're 3 years old. Shit has changed in those 3 years because that's how science works. So there's probably stuff that we're going to go back and be like, well, that's not even right anymore. So if you go back and listen to our old episodes, if you're new and you hear something and you're like, well, what the fuck is this? Remember, that's from August of 2020.
Yeah.
It was a whole different time in our lives.
Way different
time. It was the before times. Actually, it was the during times when everybody was in lockdown. But TLDR, things change, and we change with them. So yeah, we're gonna go back and redux some of those. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll update them.
Maybe we can even dig up some of the old guests on those episodes.
Yes, we got to check in with our pal Alex.
I know, right?
For sure.
She's been up to a lot.
Yes. Shout out Alex if you're
Hi,
listening.
Alex, we love you. If you're on right now, you're the best.
Okay, well, until next time.
Just another fit chick.
Yes.
Go follow her. Here, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. She's the fucking best.
She is. We will put out the holiday shit show right before Christmas. So until then, MTK. Out.
Join Sadie and Sausha, helping to make your fitness and nutrition journey suck less. MTK.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.